What is up, guys? In this video we're going to be talking about how you can create an array in JavaScript, and let's get started immediately by creating our first array. So we're just going to type in let people equal, and to create an array all you have to do is create a pair of brackets, and inside here you can insert any kind of data type you want. You can even mix them if you want, but for now we're just going to insert a few strings. The first one's going to be even, Nick, Max, Alex, and Jens. So we just inserted a few people. Now if we go ahead and log this, you'll notice that we will get an array of these people. So the next thing to show you is how you can add and remove people from this list. And to do it, first let's go ahead and start with the first method. So let's pretend we want to add someone at the end of the list because we forgot someone. We can go ahead and type in people.push, and then we have to insert a name. So we're just going to insert Luigi. And of course I should go down here and log it each time we update it. So let's go ahead and log the people. Now you'll notice that at the end of the array we will have a Luigi. And you'll also see that the array has been updated to 6 items. But let's pretend we want to add someone to the beginning of the array. To do this, all we have to do is type in people.unshift, and unshift just adds an element to the beginning of the array. So here we can just insert my name, and we can click on save, and you'll notice the array will now be of 7 items with my name at the beginning and Luigi at the end. Now let's pretend that we want to access one of these names by itself, and to do that all we have to do is, first let's delete these, is create a pair of brackets and insert the number of which one we want to access. And keep in mind that arrays and most of the lists and most things in programming start at the index of 0, so even is 0 and Jens is 4, which means if we want to access Alex we have to put the number of 3. Even if this is the 4th element, it starts at the index of 0, so we will have to insert the number of 3. So if we log people at the index of 3, you'll notice we will get Alex. Otherwise, if we log people at the index of 0, we will get even. But now let's go ahead and pretend we want to change a name because we don't like one of them. So we're just going to type in people at the index that we want to change it, such as at the index of 1, we want to change Nick out of the array. We are going to want to change it to Sasha, so we will just type in Sasha and we can click on save. And you'll notice now that once we print the array, it will say even, Sasha, Max, Alex, and Jens. Now I want to show you 2 other methods that allow you to remove the first item and to remove the last item of an array. So the first one has to do with people.shift, which should remove the first element from an array, which means we will remove even from this array. If we go ahead and click on save, you'll notice it will only be 4 people now, starting with Nick and ending with Jens. But let's pretend we also want to remove Jens. We can go ahead and type in people.pop. And this will remove Jens from the array because it was the last element. So pop is to remove the last element and shift is to remove the first element. And now there are another few convenient methods that you should know about before we end this tutorial. And right now, as you can see, we have 5 people again. Now let's pretend we want to find out where Jens is located in the list. All we have to do is type in log, and then we're going to type in people.index of, and then we need to type the element of the person we want to search for. So if we type in Jens, you'll notice that we will get a value of 4 returned because it is the 4th element in the array. If we type something that it does not recognize, you'll get a -1, which translates to false, or essentially that it did not exist in the array. But of course, there's also another method for that. If you want to make sure something is in an array, we can go ahead and type in people.includes, for example, Nick, and you'll notice it will return true because he is indeed in the array. But if we add some typo, you will get a false as a return because that has not been found in the array. And finally, let's go ahead and pretend that we want to sort these people by alphabetical order. All we have to do is call the people and type in sort. And you'll notice that the second one that we have created will be in alphabetical order. And right before we end this tutorial, I want to show you that you can also create a list of random items. So let's go ahead and type in random items. And to show you what I mean, we're just going to create this. So we're going to first insert a number, then a string, then we are going to add a boolean. Then we can even add another array inside the list with 2 different values. Now when we go ahead and log this, you'll notice that we will get the array of these items, including the array of another array. as you can see down here. And this is great because if you've ever tried this in other programming languages, most of them will give you errors because they're not the same data type. And that's what makes JavaScript so powerful, is that you can mix data types without even thinking about it. It also makes it very dangerous, of course, but I prefer this freedom over the other programming languages. And those were actually all the basics I wanted to cover regarding the array list. Of course, there's a lot to do with this and a lot you can play around with, but we will go over that as we progress in web development. And as always, guys, if you have any questions, leave it in the comment section below and I'll do my best to answer them. But otherwise, I will see you in the next video.